I'm doing this one nice and early. As you can see, market is open. Took four trades today, two and two on the day. This one kind of this short on ES kind of put me in tilt. But the reason behind it is we were pretty much rallying straight up from the minute we opened at midnight. We was just rallying up and taking out buy side, taking out buy side, taking out buy side, taking out buy side, right? So kind of the opposite of the first recap that I did where we were just working sell side, which meant I wanted to go long, right? So I was looking at NASDAQ and ES at this time, and I was looking for, okay, which one looks a little bit cleaner, right? So with the 945 news, this was just the classic, okay, liquidity sweep, we're going down to this bitch right here. So we had so many equal lows that I have marked out. We have the data lows from 8:30 news release and just a whole bunch of more lows accumulated everywhere, right? So super clean levels, which I was looking for a target. And this is super important for a lot of you guys where you could be right on the direction, but sometimes you're going to get stopped out before it runs into your direction, right? So what I saw here was, okay, we took out liquidity. We're shifting aggressively to the downside. We left this imbalance in a premium. I put my limit order short, 1 to 2 risk to reward. And my stop was right above this order block. Um, So yeah, I got stopped out at the top wick, which is right above this order block. And at this point, I'm like, fuck, I know we're going lower because I can't see a realistic scenario in which we come all the way back up to the midpoint of this wick and then disrespect that. It could happen, obviously. But in my mind, it's like, okay, for the morning session, I want to see this move, right? It happened, but it stopped me out first. So pay attention to that. I wanted to see after I got triggered and I saw this imbalance left with this candle, and at this point I was like, oh shit, we're inversing this. I might get stopped out. I didn't want to see this candle. I wanted to see kind of a poke and just an immediate sell off. But shit happens, right? So that kind of put me semi tilted, which kind of caused my second loss, right? So on this loss, in my mind is like, okay, let me make this loss back, which is a horrible mindset. And I know it's what we're going through. We're going to grow through it, right? But I was like, okay, we have these equal highs. Maybe we're going to run up into here. After we came into this inefficiency, I had a super tight stop loss, under this order block. And I was like, okay, what I want to see is, are we going to trade into here for a quick little scalp? And I had my exit up here. My stop loss here would have been a nice way to kind of make that loss back, which is a horrible mindset, I know. But once I saw that, let me take the executions off because it's a little bit cluttered. Once I saw that we were inverting this bullish fair value gap and left this, I was looking at it as, okay, we're not coming back up here. We're refusing to come back up here. This up here is ES respecting the 25% level of this wick. So I don't see a scenario in which we're gonna inverse this and then come back up here and inverse this and take the highs. But like I said, anything could happen in trading. It's not like a situation where that's why we put our stop loss, is what I want to say. That's exactly why we put our stop loss, because you never know what could happen, right? So these are all equal lows on, this is the data low, which I like to target. Super clean levels, right? So look at these lows accumulated with the new day opening gap. So it was kind of something where I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in short here. Let me just show you guys the execution. I'm gonna go short. I got stopped out, right? But I'm gonna go short after I see this level's inverted, right? Because when I got stopped out, it was still a wick. But when I see that we're actually inverting, okay, now I'm short. Once I see that we come back up into here, I'm like, okay, I want to see this actually melt immediately, right? So look, we come back into this inversion level, we trade above the midpoint, but look at the bodies, right? After I see this candle comes up here and then continues to the downside, I'm like, okay, I had two contracts on because my mindset was, well, my mindset is I'm gonna risk 350. My risk parameters for getting to the payout is I'm gonna aim for a 1 to 2. I'm gonna risk 350 to gain 700, right? Because the max you could make on Apex per day with the consistency rule is if you want to withdraw and your account balance reaches the minimum threshold to withdraw, which is 2600, the most you can make in a day is 780, right? If you want to withdraw right at that 2600, which is exactly what I want to do. As soon as I get to 2600, I want to take my money out and put that $2,000 right in my pocket. I'll still trade it, but at that point, I'm just gonna go super conservative, trading super like low size, which you guys will see once I get to the payouts. Um, but yeah, I had two separate positions of 11 micros each. I took off 11 at this low of the data lows, and I was like, okay, now I want to see this just trade right through everything. Like I don't want to see this fuck around and come back. No, I want to see speed through this low, and that's exactly what we got. So um, up another 760 on the day, putting me $400 away from payout. So now, since I'm $400 away from payout, instead of risking 350, I'm only gonna risk $100 and still aim for that 1 to 2. Where if I lose that trade for $100, I'm taking my risk down to 50. So you have to find a way because these prop firms, they're out to get us. I don't care what the fuck anybody says. It is a good relationship because at the end of the day, we are we're benefiting from their capital, but they're benefiting from ours, right? Like they love the fact that we're coming into here and putting our money in their company, and yes, they're paying you out, but they don't want you to get to payouts, right? So it's like they're trying to game us, so now we got to game them back. I'm not saying risk $1,000 per trade. No, I'm saying do something smart, get ahead of the trailing drawdown with Apex specifically, and take your money, man. And if you could get to that first payout, which I know anybody could, if I could do it, anybody could do it, honestly. Um, Once you get to that payout, pay yourself. Like even if you don't want to take out the full 2,000, take out something. Take out your activation fees. Take out some bills that you might have to pay. Take out something that's gonna actually help your mind, like alleviate a little bit of stress from the economic impact of the climate that we're living in. Because it's important to pay yourself, man. You're coming in here and you're fucking paying the companies, but you got to pay yourself too, man. So that's the recap for today. I'm not trading tomorrow at all. I don't need that day to fuck around with anything. I'm gonna just go to the gym nice and early. If you look at the economic calendar, you're gonna see the Jackson Hole Symposium is a red folder, where as today was orange. So that in itself on a Friday, I'm up 4% on the week. So I'm not desperate to get into any position to give them their money back. So 3 day weekend for me. I'm gonna get the gym out the way. I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So um, take your time. Don't do anything that you might regret, as hard as it may seem. Um, but yeah, man. Hope you like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share, get exposure out here, and have a good weekend, man.